back, guys, to another episode of Coffee Corner
Welcome back.
with Marco and Martha. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in with us every episode. This is our third episode,
Yes.
number
We're
three
number three.
that we are recording. We've had a lot of good likes and comments on the videos, and we appreciate them. Keep them coming.
You.
We appreciate everything you guys do. This is a little something to kind of say, hey, thank you for all the work you do when you're out there posted. If you want to just kind of tune in and just watch it on a little downtime, by all means, please do leave a little like. Let us know what you think of the show. If you hate it, let us know. We'll make it better. If not, keep it coming. So our next guest on the show is kind of a veteran at Superior. You've seen him. You've heard of him. You'll hear him coming. His name is Carl Webster from Medi-car.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Carl Webster,
Yes.
the man, the myth, the legend.
And the moment.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I know it was kind of last notice, but we do appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys even more.
Martha, a little backstory on Carl. We did a little digging on him.
Yeah, a little digging. Carl has been with us since 1995.
Woo, long time.
Before some of you guys were born, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. 1995
Yes.
in Medi-car, he transferred over to our education team in the orientation side of the house. How long ago, Carl?
Approximately almost 3 years now.
Going on 3 years. So what's been your process? How did you end up where you're at now?
Well, basically, when I first started, I was downstairs in front of the building taking temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
And during that process, during the pandemic and COVID years, and I enjoyed every aspect of that. Then at the end of it, Chase approached me, and he said, "Carl, would you like to go upstairs?" And I said, Chase, let me think about that. Let me marinate on that a little bit. I said, I love the outdoors. He said, I know you do. He said, but I'm rooting for you to go upstairs. I'm like, let me think about it. So then he said, well, Natasha, Louise, and everybody upstairs, Marco and all of them, Robert and all of them want you to come up. I said, okay, let me think about it. Give me a day. I said, I want to go back on the streets and give me a day. So later on, he called me again in reference to it. He said, so did you give it some thought? I said, yeah. I said, let me try it out. I said, because I always try out something first. So I came up here, and I was overwhelmed, and I enjoyed the aspect and the atmosphere that was up here, the people, the camaraderie, the time, everybody that was up here. And it just fitted. It just fitted. It fitted me, fitted the atmosphere. So I enjoyed every moment of it.
Yeah.
It was great. I remember when he was down there taking temperatures. I remember I was in medic school.
Yes, I remember that.
5 a.m., 6 a.m. He was down there greeting us. I mean, I was having a horrible morning because I had to get up, but then just coming in, Carl, good morning, sir. How you doing? Opening the door, checking temperature, good to go. Off my shift. And it made my day better. I can honestly say that.
I think you made the whole building stay better. I mean, as far as from what I hear and from the times that I visited, I wasn't at the building at the time, but you were the bright spot in a very tough couple years for everybody. So we appreciate you.
I appreciate you even more. Because even when I first met Marco, one of the things I used to always be bona fide, classified, certified. Remember that? And that's how he would go up the stairs and start his day. I always had something different for everybody that came into the door. Just like when Dave Faber would come in, I would call him Superman. I said, put that S on your chest and grab your cape. I always tell him that. So these are the things that I enjoy doing. But see, I enjoy people. I have a passion for people, and I have a passion for the environments and doing the things that I like to do.
I think you're in the right spot.
Oh, yeah.
Medical orientation or orientation in general. It's fun. I did it. It is a people position.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You have a passion for it.
Yeah.
My dad phrased all the time to us boys when we were coming up: do what you like and never work a day in your life.
100%.
Absolutely.
So take us back. 1995. You said, right? 1995. Your first day here. How did you apply? How did you get into
here? To be honest with you, actually start the journey here. I was before I actually started to give you a little historicity of my situation with me. I was actually a regional manager for a corporation before I applied here. Okay. So down in San Antonio, Texas, I was down there, and I used to travel a lot. So I just came back from China. That's why I find
All right.
So I came back from
All
China,
right.
and I walked in the house, and my daughter, my youngest daughter, she ran up to me and she said, "Daddy, today is my birthday." I had to ask her the most profound question: how old are you? She said, "Dad, I'm 10." And I looked at my wife, and I went in the room and I set my briefcase down on the bed, and I said, "You know what?" And I started crying. A tear came down. I said, "My daughter is 10 years old. I haven't had any input in her life. I said, I can't do nothing about her past, but I can do something about her future. I said, in 2 weeks, I'm going to resign. My wife looked at me and said, no, we're not being so hesitant. Right. She said, you're not going to resign. I said, 2 weeks. So I went in, and I flew back into San Antonio, to our corporation, and Tom Jones was actually our president. And I sat down in his office, and I said, Tom, we're getting ready to resign. He said, oh, wait a minute, Carl, wait a minute. He said, let's not be so hasty. I said, I got some reasons behind that. I said, I got a lot of family. I need to take care of some issues there. And he said, hold on. What about a month? Don't take a month leave of absence. I said, nope. He said, what about 4 months? I said, nope. He said, what about 6 months? I said, no. He said, whatever you need, take the time off. I said, Tom, I'm going to tell you, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to resign. He said, I want you to fly to Chicago with me. I said, uh-oh, I know what this leads to. But every time everybody went to Tom, he fired him. So I was under the impression that he's going to fire me in Chicago. We went to one of our stores in Chicago. We came in there, called a meeting on that particular Saturday. On that particular Saturday, he called everybody in the meeting. He gave everybody a raise on that Saturday. He took that store from being in the cellar to the #1 store after that. One of his philosophy was, you take care of the people will take care of you. And that's why I liked it. But I still resigned in 2 weeks.
Good.
So during that resign, that's when I was searching for another job, and I seen that you guys were hiring. And I told my wife, I said, I'm going to change vehicles. I said, I'm going to go ahead and change vehicles, and we'll see what they're offering, what they want to do. The guy that hired me was named Randy. And when he hired me, he said, Carl, you're going to be working. He said, you're going to be on commission. I said, commission? He said,
There's commission back then?
yes.
You guys had commission?
Yeah, we had commission.
Right.
We had commission back in the day. And I said, commission? Yeah, he said, commission, Carl. I said, okay, let me try it out. Let me see how it works. We had a phrase out there in the street called stack 'em, pack 'em, and rack 'em. And it was at Heinz Hospital. And our other phrase was meet me there or beat me there, because we was on commission. So during those years, you had to really do some hustling, because whoever got to the call, that's who got the call, and that's who got paid.
A little friendly competition,
Yes,
huh?
the friendly competition.
All
Absolutely. That's where that terminology came
Boxing
from.
out when right. The door. My piece.
That's it. So that's where that terminology came from, where meet me there, beat me there. So when you got to the hospital, if you knew the ins and out of that hospital, you could get to the floor before the other individual does. But if the other individual had to take the elevators and didn't know the shortcuts, that's how you beat them on the ball.
Oh, I'd be in trouble. I'd be in trouble, Carl.
Pushing people. I'd get the badge from the random nerds.
Yeah. It was interesting back then.
Awesome.
I loved every aspect of it, trying to find my way. One of the things I challenged myself was trying never to get lost. Because back then we had map books, had a 6-county map book. So we had to go through the map books. We had a thing called a counts list. And it was about this thing.
Yep.
And you remember that?
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah,
Yes.
so count list. And you had to learn how to read the map and get your coordinates together. And you riding in the van with the map book in your lap, turning it upside down to determine, is it a right turn or a left turn?
And go from page 8 to page
yes,
32 to see you continue on the road.
It's stressing me out because I'm horrible with directions. Anyone that knows me knows that I hate directions.
Yes.
I use GPS for everything. Dave
Yes,
following gives me so much grief
Does he?
all the time when we work because I'll follow my GPS and he knows
Yeah.
Chicago
he knows
at the back of
back
his
his
hand.
hand.
Yeah.
Sure does.
So every time we're driving, I'm like, all right, hold on, I'm punching it. You just go straight, go east. I'm like, where's the sun? Which way is east?
Yes.
I don't know,
Yes.
He gives me grief. So I'm glad we don't have to do that now. Be lucky, count your lucky stars. We don't do
Yes.
map readings anymore.
I
because
think it
that's
was
the worst.
I
It was
think
excellent.
I think it was fantastic.
Yes,
Superior taught me
every
so
day.
many
Me
random
too.
skills, and
Me
one of
too.
them I had a horrible sense of direction too, but
Yes.
then I had to use a map book and I had to learn.
But also too, Martha and Marco, how we also did it too was if you looked at the sun, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Back then, that's right. Back then we had the actual compass that went up against the windshield.
Oh yeah.
Remember those? We had a compass. And that's how we governed ourselves back in the day. But if it was a cloudy day, roll all that out the window.
Yeah.
I don't drive with the train now. Dave knows that. I don't drive any of those times. That's awesome. I mean, but like if you think about it, I mean, what do you see now as opposed to back then? How far have we come along? How far has Medi-car progressed? Yeah.
Tremendously, and I'll tell you why. We do one thing and one thing well, and that's our consistency. We do everything well. We built a foundation of looking professional and being professional on a day-to-day basis. And then we always tweak what we can't. Well, like say for instance, we have a complication with something. We'll tweak it and get it better. One of the things I learned always got room for improvement. So we take those pillars and we build on those. It's like the Lego. We always build it. We build on those principles. So we'll take that and govern ourselves by that, and we make it better on a day-to-day basis. We will give you the Mercedes-Benz, Cadillac, Rolls-Royce, Tesla service, period, and roll out the red carpet. We want to wow you with such an effect that you don't want to leave nowhere. We only do it one way, and that's the superior way.
There it is. 100%. There it is.
Carl, we need a book of all your lines, all of the Carlisms.
Speaking of, I heard somewhere that you wanted to write a book.
Yes, I did. A young lady named Katie, she presented that to me, and she actually titled it The Carlisms.
Yeah.
Carlisms.
Yeah.
And these are all the sayings that I have, and I had one of the students in my class just the other day named Isabella. She said, "How do you come up with these things?" I said, "That moment it's spontaneous. It pops in my head, and then I bring it out." And I said, "Just one of those moments." Just like remember the time we came in, and I said, "We got a Chase account. Your checks don't never bounce. You got BMO Harris. You never embarrassed." That was just on a spontaneous moment. Get that cheddar to make your life better.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah,
That's the one I would always hear downstairs when you
Yes.
make that cheddar, make day better. I remember that. Yep.
That's right. Your money not funny, your change not strange. and that's the truth, And one of the things that Dave's favorite was, "Welcome to the palace. We don't have no malice." That was his favorite. And so these are the things that I come up with. Just like I look at it all the time. I say, if you believe you can achieve, you will succeed. That's my philosophy when you come into these doors. Our door swings on the hinges of love. We're going to give you everything that you possibly need to grow. We don't have no ceiling here. You can grow as high as you want to go in this company. And we will actually help you get to that plateau. That's how I look at it. 100%.
We've talked about it on the show before. I mean, we have a lot of people that have just went up above and beyond that ceiling.
Yes. And not only that, I'll tell you, Marco and Martha, we have what's called a learning. If you get on this learning curve with us, you can go on this journey. That's the truth. You can get with it. And I tell it, like I just told the class the other day, I said, "I know we make a whole lot of noise, but get on this fantastic board." I said, "We can do it. We can do it."
That's how you grab people's attention and help them. This is what makes you an amazing instructor, and it helps them retain the information that they're getting.
But can I tell you guys this? I could never do it without the supporting cast that you guys here provide me with, because you guys give me the inspiration and aspiration to come in here and do this on a day-to-day basis. When I walk through those doors, I give you 20-25% because I know I got a good cast. I got good leaders. I got good management. They govern themselves well. Like I always say, here's a tip. Thank you for your leadership. I appreciate that because you guys, I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for you guys. And I glean from everybody that comes in this building. I take a little bit from everybody. Like I tell Martha all the time, you do your mission and advice. I glean from that. And I can take it and govern myself by that. Like I listen to you, Marco. I take yours and I listen. So if I ever have to do it, I got those little life nuggets that I can pull out of my pocket.
I mean, I like to do that as well when I'm teaching. So I've seen a lot of different instructors. I like to call the way I teach, I call it the Frankenstein because it's bits and pieces from different,
you put it together.
Different instructors. Yeah. I mean, I always try to reference, give credit where credit should be. And I say, well, I didn't learn this, but this is what I learned from a different paramedic, from someone that I learned. I didn't come up with this myself.
That's your credibility.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Just letting them know. I mean, taking a look back at just how far you've come. I took a deep dive into the archives. Our team of investigators uncovered something. And I think you'll get a nice kick, a nice kind of, hopefully it does send you back down memory lane.
I love memory lane. I like to walk down the corridors at times.
So I pulled up this picture. Can you just explain to me what was happening? Because it looks like he was instructing. It looks like you were instructing in this picture. Just take me through the day of what was happening there.
Woo! This really goes back.
That's the reaction we love to get.
Yes.
Right. This really takes me back a while back because, as I said, we walk back through time on this one here. We actually were instructing at that particular time, and I'm trying to show them how the process of a wheelchair actually get tied into our vans. And you really took me back because I remember the sweater, I remember the tie, and I remember those glasses. Because they used to always call those glasses I had on the hammer glasses. The hammer glasses. Because I had these black glasses that had the little side piece on the side to keep out the wind and the dust on the side of it. And at that particular time, these individuals were talking to me at the time. They said, "Carl, how do you get in here?" And I demonstrated to them how you actually properly come in here and put the wheelchair in the proper position, put the 4-point tie downs on here, then instruct them to put the belt on. At that particular time, ladies and gentlemen, we had the little white straps that went in. They hang from the handlebars up here and then inserted and clipped in there. That's when back then in the day. Before we converted over to the actual orange ones that we have now. And we also had the white ones. This go back way back in the early 90s right here.
Give me a
Yes.
What
The
year?
date, I probably would say, roughly because of the sweater and the glasses, it was between 95 and 97.
Nice.
Awesome.
95, 97.
Look
Because
at
I
that.
remember those glasses. The glasses that I had on were called gazelles. That's how I remember.
We'll check them out.
That's how I remember. So back in the day, oh my goodness, that's golden memories.
I mean, even then you were instructing without
Yes,
having that instructor
even then,
Yeah.
because at that particular time, I trained for 15 years of people on the map book side of it, because that's what I was doing then. Everybody that would come in, Kenny Griggs at that particular time was one of the individuals that was the dispatcher, and they asked me, they said, Carl, Ivan was the one that actually ran Marion Joy. So there was another guy that was named Mark Kalupa, and Mark Kalupa said, Carl, if Ivan ever leave, I guarantee you be the man he give it to. Sure enough, he called it before it was said and done. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And so Ivan said, he got ready to depart. He said, I'm going to turn it over to Carl. I said, I don't want the baton. I said, you take it. He said, no, Carl, I want you to do it. He said, because I think you'd be good at it. And sure enough, I ended up doing that. And I enjoyed every moment of it. And like you said, I was instructing, teaching the map book during that time, 6 counties, and the Atlas. Give you guys a little snippet. I remember after this, since you brought up this picture, it brought me back a memory. I received a call, and it was going to Rush Hospital. And this is right after this demonstration here. And the Rush Hospital, I get there. And as I arrived there, I look at my pager. We had pagers back then.
Yep, I had a pager.
I had a pager.
I still have it in my office.
Yes.
I never gave it back.
Yes. So I said, why I can't find this? So Marco and Martha, I'm looking through my 6th county, and I cannot find this. And I open up my atlas, and I'm flipping through it, and I come across this area that says Kentucky. I'm like, no way. A little town called Salem. I'm like, no way. There's no way. So I call in. Tracy was the dispatcher at that time, named Tracy. Look it up.
Okay.
She was a dispatcher. And she said, I said, Tracy, where's this call actually going? She said, Carl, are you standing up or sitting down? I said, uh-oh, I know what this is about. I said, I am standing. She said, you need to sit down. So she says, going to Kentucky. I said, are you serious? She said, yes, it's going to Kentucky. So I go on the floor, get the patient. She was 80-some years old. The problem was that her son couldn't come get her because he had a business meeting that morning. That's why he couldn't come get his mother. So what made it so ironic was I get her into the van. We're moving about 60, 70 miles an hour. We're going down 57. And I'll never forget what she did to me that really brought me in. And she knew I was a little disturbed. So she leaned over, tapped me on my shoulder, and said, young man, no matter how fast you go, it's 9 hours.
Oh,
That's
boy.
awesome.
So I chuckled with her, and we had a wonderful time going down.
Good.
And during the whole process back then, the radios went out in Kankakee. So
Yep.
nobody knew where I was that whole entire night.
Right.
That whole entire night. Nobody. When I came back up in service the next morning, dispatch said, Carl, what are you doing here? I said, I was here since last night. And so, I'm trying to think of the guy. Phil was the dispatcher at the time. And he said, Carl, why are you here? I said, well, I went down to Kentucky. He said, you're kidding me. So he pulled it up. He said, I guess you did. He said, a lady's been calling here over 12 times looking to see if you arrived. And that was the lady that
Aw,
arrived.
that's sweet.
That's awesome.
She called back 12 times to see how I arrived back. And I actually started my shift at 5 o'clock that morning.
Wow.
So, and the reason I went all the way till 12, till Ivan came to me, he said, Carl, you need to go home. Your eyes are bloodshot red. You need to go home and get some rest.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, no, I'm good. He said, no, you need to go home. So that's how that situation is. But I enjoyed it. One of the things I did, I loved it being here. Because you know what? I'm a people's person. I love people. I love being around them. If I could do anything to help you, I'm going to do that. I'd rather help you than hurt you. So that's my philosophy on that.
Love it.
That's amazing. I mean, just all the story, just how far you've come, how far Medi-car's come, how far Superior
Absolutely. It's Superior. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
I could listen to your stories all day, Carl.
I have watched the growth of this company. I remember we had the little box out there where Mr. Hill had One of the things that really touched my heart during the pandemic on Mr. Hill is when he didn't lay off one employee. He kept everybody on the payroll. And I told him not too long ago, I said, I never forgot that, Mr. Hill. I said, Dave, I never forgot that. And I said, would you mind if I tell that story to my orientation class? He said, Carl, I have no problem with that. I said, because that was so amazing to me. When everybody else was laying people off, he retained us. He said, you can work from home. He said, you can do that. But those that want to come in and work, he said, you work. And I took the opportunity to come here and work. The greatest part of that was I could get to downtown in 15 minutes. That's the only great part.
It was very hefty.
Yes,
I miss
because
it.
there was nobody
I miss that
on
part.
the streets during that moment. That's
I
what
do
I
remember that. Yeah, that was great. I needed this job during.
Yes.
I was in paramedic school and I wasn't working as much. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Golden rules.
But I mean, thank you so much, Carl, for
I
everything
appreciate
you've done.
you guys because I couldn't do it without you.
You being on the show is awesome. You being in this department is awesome.
Yes.
Positivity.
My
good
awesomeness
vibes.
come from you guys.
Well,
I can only do that when you guys are doing it. You guys have been my beacon of light, you've been my lighthouse since I've been here, and I appreciate it because you guys have shined so bright in my life. So I can do what I do because of you guys. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Carl. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
being on
much.
the show. We
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
you. Last question for you
Yes.
is your coffee.
Yeah, coffee of choice.
What kind of
Appreciate it.
coffee?
What
do
is
you
your
drink?
coffee of choice?
Like I
Or
mentioned,
caffeinated.
I'm mostly a tea and water person, H2O. I love a lot of tea. I don't drink sodas. I love a lot of tea. And I love a lot of water. I drink a lot of that. Consume a lot of that.
That's
Well,
healthy.
Well, if you happen to do coffee, I'll probably take an iced coffee, no cream, and 1 shot of caramel.
Yes.
Oh, good to know.
Black coffee.
And what kind of tea? Sweet, unsweet?
Any kind of tea.
And-
I just love tea.
Love it all.
My main ones is hot tea. I love hot tea.
Okay.
I love to sit down with a hot tea and a book. I love reading. I love
Nice.
reading. That's one of the things my children and my wife always say. You constantly reading, and I'm like, that's where you get your knowledge from. That's where you get your knowledge from. Because I always tell my children, knowledge is portable luggage. You can take it anywhere, go to any country, any situation, and you can adapt yourself there. Just like we talked about the map books. I can go to Europe, get a map from Europe, and be able to read it and find my way. GPS
True.
will give you a
True.
snippet. Yeah, it only gives you a snapshot. But that map gives me a bird's eye view of where I need to go.
Hopefully my
Absolutely.
GPS works out. there.
The only thing you got to worry about is GPS signal loss.
Right. I'd be lost for days.
Follow the sun. You'll be okay, Marco. Follow
Where's
the
the
sun.
sun? I don't know if on the ocean at some point, right?
I want to thank you guys for having my presence
Thanks,
here.
Carl.
Thank you so much,
Appreciate
Carl. We
it.
appreciate you.
Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right.
Best.
Thank you. No, you guys are. Thank you. All right, good, Kate.
See you, Carl.
Thank you.